Hi guys, my name's rachelbeth, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to knit a hat. So I am a beginner at knitting, so I do use some crochet terms like hook in this video instead of needle, so please forgive me, but I hope you enjoy. Bye!
So for this video you're going to need your wool. So this wool is a thickness for a 4.5 to 5mm hook, and I got this in a shop in Athlone. And the hooks I'm using are 5mm bamboo knitting needles. So I would recommend using thicker wool and thicker needles just if you wanted that more chunky look. Needles, so I use a slip knot to do this, but you can do whatever way you want. And then you're going to put 68 stitches on your hook. Now depending on the size of your wool and needles, the stitches may be less or more, but you'll always want it to be an even number, and when you split the number in half, that it's an even number as well. So to place stitches, you're going to put your hook through the loop on the left needle. You're going to wrap the wool round behind it. I wrap it weird here for some reason, but again, I'm not a pro. So you're going to wrap the hook around it and pull it under. And then you're going to pull that thread over the hook, and that's how you put a stitch onto your needle. So just to repeat, you're going to put your hook down the back, wrap your wool around and pull it under, and then put the thread over the hook. So once you have your 68 stitches done, it should look like this, and then we're going to start our first row. So for the first row, we're going to do a knit stitch. So you're going to put it through like we did before, wrap around and pull it through. But instead of putting it back onto the left, we're going to take it off the left. So then your wool is left on the right needle. So we're going to do 2 knit stitches. And then once you've done the knit stitch, you're going to do your purl. So for a purl stitch, you're going to put your wool on the opposite side, and then you're going to put your needle through the wool downwards. And then you're going to wrap your wool around the needle and pull it through, and then again loop the wool off of the left hook. So you're going to do 2 of these. So it's going to be 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl the whole way down. And this is going to create a double rib effect. If you're using a thicker wool, you can do 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl. This is why it's important for your stitches to be even. If it's an uneven number, you will end up with what's called a moss stitch, which looks completely different than a rib stitch, and you'll have to undo it again, unfortunately. You should always end up with 2 purl stitches at the end. If you end up with 2 knit stitches, you'll have to start over and either take off 2 stitches or add. So if you get a bit confused while you're doing it and you can't remember if you've done a knit or a purl stitch will bunch like this, and a knit stitch will lie flat. So you can see the purl stitch bunches and the knit stitch is flat, just so you can keep count if you're forgetful like me. So you're going to keep doing these rows until you get a thickness that you're happy with for the trim of your hat. So I went around 5 to 6 centimeters, but you can do it more if you want. And you can see there the ribbed effect gives it that bumpy look. So once you are happy with the thickness, we're going to start our first row after that. So the first row is just going to be knit the whole way down. So you're just going to do a knit stitches the whole way along that row. And then after that row, you're going to do the purl stitch the whole way across the next row. So this side is going to be considered the wrong side of the piece. Your knit side will look like a V shape, whereas your purl side will look like lines going across. You're going to keep doing these stitches down the whole way until you reach about a 17 centimeter length from the beginning, or depending on how baggy you want your hat to be, you might want more stitches in it. You're going to keep doing these stitches down the whole way until you reach about a 17 centimeter length from the beginning. So you're going to want to end on a purl row so that you're going on to do a knit row. So on the knit row, you're going to knit 6 stitches. So it's just going to be 6 plain stitches, knit stitches. And then after that, we're going to do what's called a slip off, knit 1 and slip off. So for this, you're going to do very much like a knit stitch. You're going to put it through, but instead of wrapping it around, you're just going to pull that loop off the left needle onto the right. And then you're going to knit into the next stitch. And then once you've done that, you're going to put your needle into the looped stitch, and you're just going to pull it off the right hook and off the left hook completely. So after you've done that, you're then going to just knit 5 stitches, and then after 5 stitches you're going to do that again. So you're just going to put it through as if you were doing a knit stitch, and then just loop it off, then knit into the next stitch, and then loop back off completely the stitch that you looped before. So you're going to keep on doing this slip off knit 5 the whole way down the row. I think you should be left with about 6 stitches at the end. So what you're going to do with that is you're going to do the normal slip off, and then you're just going to knit the whole way down the end. Just don't end on a slip off stitch, even if you have to do an extra knit at the end. So once you've done this row, you're going to do your purl row. So for the next row, you're going to do 5 knit stitches and then your slip off stitch like before. And then you're going to do a cycle of slip off stitches and 4 knit stitches after. So you can see there's a bit of a sequence going on. So before we had 6 knit stitches and then 5 knit stitches, and now we have 5 knit stitches and then 4 knit stitches. So this is going to be the same on every row after this. We're going to keep doing that sequence. So for this row, you're going to be doing a slip stitch, then 4 knit stitches after that the whole way down. So after you've done your row of purls, you're going to knit 4 stitches, and then you're going to do your slip off stitch again. And then after your slip off stitch, you're going to do 3 knit stitches. So then you're going to keep doing a slip off, 3 stitches, slip off, 3 stitches the whole way down that row. And then again, after this row, you're going to do a row of purls on the wrong side. Then for your next row, you're going to knit 3 stitches and then do your slip off stitch. Then after that stitch, you're going to do 2 knit stitches, and then you're going to do the cycle of slip off, 2 knit, slip off, 2 knit, slip off, 2 knit the whole way down. Then after this row, you're going to do your purl row on the wrong side, and then back when you're on the right side, you're going to knit 2, then do your slip off, then knit 1, and then your slip off. So then the rest of the row is going to be slip off, knit 1, slip off, knit 1. So once you've done this row, you're going to do your purl row, and then back when you're on the knit side, we're going to knit 2 stitches together. So to do this, you're going to put your needle through 2 of the stitches and knit as if they were 1 stitch. And you're going to do this the whole way down. So you're going to halve the amount of stitches that you have on it already. And then once you've finished that knit row, you're going to turn around and then you're going to purl 2 stitches together the whole way down as well. So again, you're going to be halving the stitches. So it's just going to be the same as before, and you're just going to purl 2 stitches together the whole way down. Once you have this done, you're going to leave excess wool, so enough to sew the hat together, and you're just going to snip that wool, and then you're going to thread it through a darning needle, and then with the darning needle you're going to put it through the remaining loops that are on your needle, and then once you've pulled that good and tight, you can take it off the knit needle. So once you've secured your wool, you're just going to fold it over, knit sides together, so right sides together, and then with your darner needle you're just going to sew along the side just to keep it together. Now for my hat, I considered getting a fox fur bauble, but I couldn't get one, so instead I'm just going to make a bauble with some of the leftover wool. So what I'm going to do is wrap the wool repeatedly around 3 fingers, so you can change the amount of fingers depending on how big you want your bauble. I didn't want mine too big, so I'm just using 3. So you're just going to wrap it around and keep wrapping it around till it's really thick. And then once you're happy, you can cut off the end and then cut off another strip and tie that around the middle. So you're just going to take it carefully off your fingers, keep it wrapped up, and tie the extra thread around the middle really tight. And then you're just going to get a scissors and cut either end so you have a bauble. And then you can just sew your bauble down and that's your hat finished. So I do recommend doing this with chunky wool and chunky needles, and I have done one. So if you want to see that, you can check out my Instagram and I will put up a picture of it. Unfortunately, it was too big for me, so yeah. But if you do give this a go, I'd love to see, so hashtag rachelbeth_DIY on Instagram and Twitter. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed. Bye!
That's my hat. Oh, no, not that.